Okay, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018, and this is a market wrap for trading today. The markets were in, again, a bit of a bull mode, and a bit is understatement of the year. Huge rally again after this ISM manufacturing PMI numbers printed, 59.7, just a huge number. The only bloom off the rose is a little bit of a downturn in the employment number to that, but the market discounted that and just rallied all morning off this number. And let me show you why. You cannot go back in history and find an equal print. November of 14 was 59.0. And we had 59.7. It's just not here. I went looking for it. It's not here. I don't know how far back I'm going to have to go. And so anytime you get, here we go, May of 2011. So you would have to go back to May of 2011 to get as good of an economic number. And so when you see that, this is what you're going to get. The markets are going to take off like a rocket, and that's what they did to the upside, including crude. And then you had the currencies coming back a little bit off of this ISM number, including the euro. But let's take a look at the E-mini. And we rallied the entire session off of these numbers. The rally really started yesterday and then continued today off of this bullish number. The NASDAQ was the market leader. Let me show you that. I've got the direction guide here on the left and my high-low one on the right. And you can see that you just stayed with it. It just blew right past the previous highs. And just wait for your pullbacks and get back in the direction if you even got out. And let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. Okay, here's the NASDAQ. And it's very similar. We did have a new all-time high on the NASDAQ and pulled back at the lunch hour. As you can see, it's come off the top, but just another phenomenal trading session. Here was yesterday and again today. So it looks like it's consolidating some on the lunch hour. Well, it's 2:24, so it looks like it's topping out a little bit. So, but definitely going to close on its high. It's not pulling back at all yet. Despite the negative news out of Washington, D.C., I mean, I have to remind people that we're subject to one news cycle away from calamity with those people in Washington. We did have some FOMC minutes today, and basically I was going to pull that up for you, but basically the minutes just reflect that they raised the interest rate in December based on the tax cut occurring. They are anticipating growth for 2018. As you can see, the markets are anticipating that growth also, but they're not expecting any additional inflation yet. So we'll have to wait for those paychecks to get their tax cuts and then see how that impacts spending. So that's why we have a really bizarre market with the dollar falling yesterday. It picked up a little bit today on that ISM manufacturing number, but when you had a rally yesterday and the euro rallying but the dollar sort of falling still, it's really messed up. But that has a lot to do with the QE, the euro dollars, and I think that's subject to change. I think we will start getting some inflation now that people are going to have more money to spend. So we'll come back tomorrow and see if this is subject to change. I will be looking for a pullback on this, especially in the NQ. We got kind of ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the market analyzer before we go. And we really didn't have anything pulling, to the downside. The British pound, I mean, that's always good for a short, right? A little bit of choppy on the trend, but the net change definitely still down. So I would say that the markets are going to be maybe catching its breath tomorrow. Um, for the rest of the week's calendar, we've got tomorrow employment numbers, and then we've got jobless claims, and then we've got nat gas and crude oil inventories. Any miss on the crude oil inventories, our numbers, will cause that to pull back. And the consensus is, from what I've been gathering, everybody's waiting for a deep pullback in crude. Deep, they said deep. So maybe getting closer to 50 again. So another $10 run. So crude could be real fun to trade. It hasn't started yet. It's still very bullish today. You have to wait for the trigger to occur. Don't jump short. Don't be first out of the gate. Wait for the trend, the signal, um, and then on Friday we have our non-farm payrolls. So that should give us some things to trade. So I will look at you tomorrow afternoon, see where we are in the markets. Thank you so much. Again, the overall theme, very easy to trade. Either hold a position up until you get a down candle on a higher time frame, or trade in and out, just grabbing what you want out of the move as it occurs, and then getting out on these pullbacks. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.